Hey guys, welcome back to my info prediction videos. I'm going to try to make this one a quick one because I started to realize that my videos are a bit too long. No one's going to sit and watch 26 minutes of these. So I'm trying not to keep this one like at 15 minutes. It's not going to happen. Well, I'm not going to go as in-depth into each one, seeing as no one really cares about backup quarterbacks, right? So anyways, welcome back. I'll probably should have started on this screen. So anyways, welcome back to my backup quarterback rankings. What I did is I wrote on all the stats for every single backup quarterback for every single team. This is only second string, not third string, not both. If you want to see those as videos, then let me know in the comment section. I could do one like third string only. I could do one with them combined. I could do both. I could do anything. Really, it's all up to you guys. Just give me any ideas, and I'll do them. If you're psyched for this video, go ahead and subscribe and you leave a like. Never had this kind of intro, but I'm testing out things. All right, the worst backup quarterback. This is like this area is like the worst thing that could happen to your team is if your quarterback gets hurt. If your quarterback gets hurt, it's the end. All right. So in 32nd, we've got the Panthers. They have Will Grier as their backup quarterback, and he really hasn't had that much experience. He sat behind, he was third string for the Panthers last year. He was a rookie last year. They drafted him in some round. He was like the third. He sat there behind Kyler Murray. He sat there behind Cam Newton, which isn't the best, but he was a rookie. And then Kyler Murray wasn't doing the best, so they actually benched Kyler Murray, and I think it was like the last game against the Saints. And then Will Grier went out there, and he threw no touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and 228 yards in like 3 quarters. He threw 4 interceptions, no touchdowns. He had a 2.59 quarterback rating. Honestly, you don't want, if Teddy Bridgewater gets hurt, if he's playing bad, then they're not going to bench him because he can't be worse than Will Grier. And in 31st, we have Matt Barkley. And a lot of these guys are, I've never even heard of. And this guy, I have a feeling he was kind of in the same situation. He threw 359 yards, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and 9.59 quarterback rating. A quarterback rating under like 10 is terrible. That's like if I was out there on the field. It's terrible. How are you in the league if you're this bad? Luckily, the Bills do have Josh Allen as their quarterback. So hopefully, the guy's young. He rushes a lot, so hopefully he can take some hits. I doubt that they're in too much peril right now. And 30th, I'm pretty sure those two are completely. I'm pretty sure Colt McCoy is much better than those two, but he's still pretty bad. He again only played 1 game, but he did play the full game, and it was because I'm pretty sure Case Keenum got hurt or something, and they didn't want to start Dwayne Haskins, and it was against the Patriots last year. So I can kind of understand why he played the way that he did. But still, I'm trying to find him. He kind of did the same thing, 122 yards, and this time it's a full game. So that's not that good. No touchdowns, 1 interception, so that's better, and a 13.9 quarterback rating. So it's a step up from the Barkley and Will Grier, but it's still not very good. The only good thing that came out of him is just technically he was the quarterback whenever because the Redskins were the first team to lead the Patriots all season because they had a run for a touchdown, obviously. So technically he was the first quarterback to be beating the Patriots. I don't know. In 29th, we've got the Patriots themselves with where is he? Where are the Patriots? We got Brian Hoyer. They did bring in. A lot of people don't know this, but they didn't draft a rookie quarterback, but they actually. Sorry, my brother's screaming up from outside. They brought in a rookie quarterback. I'm trying to find him. They brought in a Jamar Smith. But they understand that their quarterback situation is not very good. But still, let's talk about Brian Hoyer. I'm sorry if that was so bad. He had 372 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and a 16.39 quarterback rating. So this is the first quarterback that we've seen so far that has actually thrown a touchdown yet. So, I mean, he threw 4 of them. So now we're starting to step up. I mean, yes, you don't want Jarrett Stidham to get hurt at all because Brian Hoyer is even worse. But I mean, it's better than having Colt McCoy. And in the Texans, we got A.J. McCarron. You've actually seen his picture right here. The man is just pretty bad. 225 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception. Which, I mean, that seems to be, I mean, you look at it just with the stats, it seems to be worse than Brian Hoyer, but he has a 25.5 quarterback rating, so he probably was completing more passes. He probably didn't have that much play time, so, I mean, it's better. You could make an argument that 28 and 29 switch. And on 27th, we have the Buccaneers. They went all in on Tom Brady, and they forgot to get someone to back them up. I mean, they have a Blaine Gabbert, who last year had 626 yards, which, I mean, is the highest. He had 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, just like Brian Hoyer, the exact same. But he does have a 27 quarterback rating. That pushes him above. He has more yards, and he technically doesn't have more interceptions. He has touchdowns, so he's better than these weirdos. And in 26th, going down even farther, we have the Bengals. Alright, so they have Ryan Finley, who they drafted last year. He played a few games last year, actually. He isn't one of those quarterbacks who only came in for like 1 game. He played like 2 or 3, because they thought he was going to be the future. He threw for 474 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 23.59 quarterback rating. So he threw less interceptions, but he also threw less touchdowns, probably because he didn't play. Well, he played a few games. I mean, he started a few. So, I mean, they definitely made a mistake of drafting him last year. They probably could have gotten something better, even at that point in the draft, But, I mean, they just get what they get. They said didn't draft Will Grier. All the way down at 25th, we got the Seahawks themselves. They had Geno Smith backing them up. He actually had 2,500. So, of course, I'm taking these from like the last time that they actually played. And the last time Geno Smith played like a few games was back in 2014. So you're gonna see these stats, and you might be thinking, oh, well, I mean, that's not that bad. But keep in mind, it's been 6 years since he actually played multiple games. I mean, he threw 13 touchdowns, and he also threw 13 interceptions, though 2,525 yards. That tells me that he probably played, I think he played like 15 games. He had a 77.5 quarterback rating, but the fact that he threw 13 interceptions and only 13 touchdowns tells me that there's probably a good reason why he isn't a starting quarterback anymore. So, I mean, I guess the Seahawks' worst fear is that, Russell Wilson starts showing his age, which, I mean, he's still pretty young, but again. And this is like, you still don't want your quarterback to get hurt, but I mean, you can probably win a few games. Back here, if your quarterback gets hurt, they might win you one more game for the rest of the season. And these guys, they can win against bottom tier teams. You take those out, the bottom 6 teams. These guys probably could take the Ravens and be a little under them. They're not very competent, but I mean they're talent. You understand. In 24th, we've got the Jaguars. They have Mike Glennon, who last year didn't do much. He only threw for 56 yards, so that tells me he didn't play very much. But in those 56 yards, he threw for a touchdown, which tells me that he is getting to the end zone. So, I know I probably should have picked a different year, but I mean, he had 23.79 quarterback rating. The fact that he only threw 56 yards but managed to throw for a touchdown tells me that, I mean, that just seems pretty talented. And in 23rd, we have Nate Sudfeld, who you can see right here. Nate Sudfeld, this is the first guy, I mean, so he hasn't played multiple games in the NFL season since he hasn't ever. I got these stats from his rookie year, which is why he's way down here. He threw 27 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, this is from 2015, by the way, in his last season as a collegiate football player. So that tells me, I mean, he has no experience in the NFL. He's played in a few games, like maybe like 1, 2 max, playing in them. Actually, he hasn't started any that I know of. I mean, kind of like in relief, he's been like a third string player. So I feel like he's really underprepared to back up someone like Wentz. And knowing him, he gets hurt a lot, and I know it's not really something he can do about it, but it seems like he's gotten hurt every single year for the last 3 years, and he's been kind of been saved by, you know, having Nick Foles in the backfield and stuff, who's been able to save him. I feel like if Carson Wentz gets hurt later in this, like if he gets hurt in like week 9 or something, they might win maybe like 1, maybe 2 more games, like 2 or 3, 1 or 2 more games. So I mean, it's better, you can rely on him to win 1 or 2 more games, but I mean, it's not very good. And then we've got the Vikings at 22nd, and they actually have Sean Mannion as their backup quarterback. 126 yards and no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. You could definitely make an argument looking at those stats for him to be lower. He does have a 24.89 quarterback rating, so I mean, he has played in the NFL. He's gotten some yards, but he seems to be interception prone. You could definitely say Sudfeld. You could definitely say that Nate Sudfeld is better than him, but in my opinion, I just feel like Sean Mannion is better. And at 21st, we actually have the Titans. This is another one where the last time that this guy actually played was when he was in college, but this guy played when he was in college in 2017, so it's not as far back as 2014 to 2015. And he threw 28 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 162.29 quarterback rating, and a 3,000, really close to 4,000 yards. So that's much better than, who was I looking at? That is much better than, Nate Sudfeld. That's much better than the last guy. That's much better than Sean Mannion. I mean, he seemed to do pretty good in college, but it's mainly the fact that he hasn't had any NFL experience that puts him down. And in 20th, we have the Chiefs. Now, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not, Chad Henne, he may have been the guy who actually beat the Broncos last year. If he was, he'd be higher, but because of the fact that I don't know if he was, I left him at 20th because never mind, ignore that. I'm pretty sure the last time this guy played was in 2013, and he played multiple games. Don't know for what team, I didn't write it down. He threw 3,241 yards, so that's like a normal quarterback. That's like below average, but still, that's showing that at some point he was formidable. But he threw 14 interceptions and only 13 touchdowns. That's not very good. He did have a 76.59 quarterback rating, so that tells me, and he had been playing for years before that. That tells me he has lots of experience. He knows what it's like to take the reins of a team. It's been years though, but I mean, he's probably showing like Patrick Mahomes some things too, seeing as he is he's a veteran. It'd be interesting to see if he still got it. Because, I mean, if he still got it, he could possibly, with the stats I'm seeing right now, he could... Never mind. And in 19th, we've got the Bears coming in here with Nick Foles as their backup quarterback. I know that they haven't announced who's going to be starting, but I'm just going to take it as it is right now and say that it looks to me that Mitchell Trubisky is going to be starting. So the backup, of course, is Nick Foles. If they do announce that Nick Foles is starting, I mean, after I record this or something, that'll be bad. But as of right now, it's looking like Mitchell Trubisky is going to be starting, so I'm taking Nick Foles. The last time he played, which I just took it from, I'm pretty sure last year, he had 736 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a 33.6 quarterback rating. The reason I keep on adding a 9 to the end is because I just have the number and then QBR, and the Q looks like a 9. So I mean that's better. That's like we're taking a step up now. This guy, I mean, I really honestly feel like he's probably. I feel like he's not. I feel like the Bears are in a bad situation right now. I don't feel like Mitchell Trubisky or Nick Foles have what it takes to be a starting NFL quarterback. So I feel like they're going to be looking at a rookie next year. But we're not talking about that. I feel like he is 19th. I mean, I feel like there are, of course, lots and lots of backup quarterbacks that are better than Nick Foles. So the fact that they want him to start taking over their team is kind of scary. All right, then we got the Jets. Over here, they actually have Joe Flacco as their backup quarterback. I didn't know this. In my opinion, I think Joe Flacco is actually better than Sam Darnold, but I see why they start him because, Joe Flacco's an old guy, and Sam Darnold he still has the chance to show himself. He's on an upward swing. Sam Darnold is probably going to get better throughout the season. So Joe Flacco, last year, of course, with the Broncos, 1,822 yards, 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 48.7 quarterback rating. So definitely, we're starting to get into, once again, this is quarterback gets hurt. It's going to be a big deal, but they can win you maybe 1 or 2 games. We are getting to the upwards of that. So, this is like, at this point, it's like they're definitely going to win you 2 or 3 games. These, it's like, maybe they'll win you 2 games. These guys, it's like, they could probably. And then got the Steelers, obviously Mason Rudolph last year. We saw him. He had the reins for a lot of the year until he got hit in the head with his own helmet. That was pretty funny. It's funny because my math teacher was one of my, never mind. Mason Rudolph, of course, 1,765 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. So, he's throwing, which is like we're starting to see a lot more touchdowns than interceptions if you don't look at the people who last played in college. So, Mason Rudolph definitely could... I didn't know this screen looked like that. I was looking at my notes. He definitely could take back over, but I don't think it would be a good thing. I feel like they're going to be looking for more quarterback options next year. I don't know why there's a picture of Tyrod Taylor right here. I think I just accidentally looked him up. I should have put Justin Herbert on here because that's who I have as their backup. So just ignore that. In the 16th week, got the Cardinals. This area is like, if your quarterback gets hurt, right? You're gonna be upset, but you're gonna think, all right. We've still got, for the Cardinals, we've still got Brett Hundley back there. We still got some hope for the season. Maybe with some insane luck, maybe we could somehow barely make it to the playoffs. This is like this area. I know this is very low on the area. Brett Hundley's probably not going to take a team to the playoffs, but still, this is an area where maybe you have some hope. All right, maybe, possibly, very little. Brett Hundley, of course, 9 touchdowns, 12 interceptions on the last time he played, which was in 2018. This is the guy who, when Aaron Rodgers, I'm pretty sure this is the guy that when Aaron Rodgers got hurt that one year, he took over the reins in 11, 6, and 10. So he's definitely got some experience. He had a 70.6 quarterback rating, so he's got some experience handling a team. But I still feel like Kyler Murray is the better option. Of course, there's no question. I don't know why I said that. But still, he's 16th. And in 15th, we have the Browns with Case Keenum as their backup. They got him from the Redskins. You saw him. He was able to lead some good drives. He looked like an okay quarterback when he was starting for the Redskins last year, but I feel like the Browns, of course, he's 15th. I feel like they have an okay chance with him. Case Keenum, 1,770 yards with the Redskins last year. 11 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and so many fumbles. And a 43.5 quarterback rating. This is one of those that played a lot last year. So, we're looking at people saying, they have experience playing for years. He's been in the NFC title game. He's played good. He's Minnesota Miracle, all that. So, this is definitely... They've definitely got a good backup. Although we've seen that it was probably just like a one-year wonder, but he does have the experience. He is a pretty mediocre quarterback. He could probably start for some teams. He's probably on par with very lower, worse quarterbacks. And then we've got the Rams coming up next with actually John Wolford as their quarterback. He's one of the ones. I have his stats from his last college year back in 2017, where he threw for 3,192 yards, 29 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 158 quarterback rating. So that's definitely way above all the other people that I've gotten stats from their college years. That's why he's above them, obviously. So, and I mean, this is also from 2017. Again, not that far back. So, I mean, I feel like this is possibly, they probably got him a few years ago, hoping that like maybe he could take over for Jared Goff, but I doubt that would be a good idea. But right now, I feel like they have a good situation to where he could probably win 1 or 2 games. But we'll see if he gets hurt. And then we have the Broncos actually with the number 13th spot. They have Jeff Driscoll, who looked pretty good whenever he was playing for the Lions last year as backups go. He did lose to the Redskins, but he put up a good fight against them. This is when Dwayne Haskins came in, so that's pretty impressive. 685 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and a 47.9 quarterback rating last year. That's pretty meh. It's only 13th, but I feel like if they put him out on the field with the team they have, he could definitely win 2 or 3 games. I mean, I feel like he goes out on the field. Now we're really getting into territory. The Broncos fans would probably sit there and be like, all right, come on, Jeff Driscoll. They've got a little bit of hope. And in 12th, we have got the Lions here with Chase Daniel, who actually, we've seen him start the past 2 years. Like, he played in Thanksgiving either last year or the year before for the Bears, and I mean, he's looked good whenever he's played. He's played pretty proficiently. Sorry, I can't talk apparently. 435 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 57.6 quarterback rating. And this is not from someone in college, so this is definitely pretty good. I feel like, once again, he goes out to start. This is a person that I'm pretty sure Lions fans you could root for. I mean, Matthew Stafford gets hurt, you've got Chase Daniels. I mean, you're not going to skip a beat. So I mean, he's pretty good, but he did throw only for 435 yards. He did throw 2 interceptions last year in the 1 or 2 games he played. So I mean, it's not that good. Almost in the top 10. You almost made it, buddy. We have the Cowboys, who actually have Andy Dalton as the backup quarterback. Got him from the Bengals, free agency. He threw, of course, if you don't know who Andy Dalton is, then that's good for you. Andy Dalton, of course, played for the Bengals last year. They got rid of him pretty quickly. 3,494 yards, 16 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, a 40.19 quarterback rating. So, again, he was very below average when he was starting, but I feel like if he was to take the reins for the Cowboys, if he was to take the reins if he was to be the starting quarterback of a team, I feel like he would be able to take a team to like 3-13. Okay, I feel like that's kind of him. Entering the top 10. Again, we're entering the top tier of you still have some hope after we got the Raiders with Marcus Mariota. Of course, now we're getting into old starters who, kind of fizzled out over the last couple years, and now they're back. Of course, we got Marcus Mariota from last year. Ryan Tannehill took the reins last year, took them all the way to the AFC title game. They got squished by the Chiefs. And then they send Marcus Mariota to the Raiders, who is now backing up Derek Carr. Wouldn't be surprised to see him play towards the end of the season. Just like to see, I mean, if they're doing really bad and they need to throw the last couple of games to get a good draft pick, I doubt that will actually happen. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Marcus Mariota go in, kind of like as an experiment, kind of like Ryan Tannehill last year. Marcus Mariota is kind of in the same situation that Ryan Tannehill was in last year, except for that I doubt that he'll take a team to the NFC title game. Anyways, 1,203 yards, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So we're seeing more touchdowns than interceptions and 33 quarterback ratings. So not a very good quarterback rating, but we've seen him. He is able to play. I feel like he definitely is going to be in the league for a while, but I doubt he'll start. And then we've got the Chargers, of course, with Justin Herbert. I don't know why Tyrod Taylor's up there. Old Carson, what's wrong with you? You put A.J. McCarron, you put Nate Sudfeld, and then you had to go and put freaking... I'm done. Anyways, we got Justin Herbert, our first rookie, showing up here. He I mean, he looked good in college. 32 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Obviously, above and beyond all of the other quarterbacks we've seen thus far, which I have taken the stats from their collegiate year. So, I mean, it definitely, it's just the fact that he is a rookie. They took him 6th pick, obviously hoping that he can take over. Maybe Tyrod Taylor can take over. I don't know. But, I mean, we'll just see how well he does. I mean, he could be a complete and total draft bust. I mean, he's a rookie, so, I mean, that helps him out on the fact that he could explode onto the scene, but it hurts him on the fact that he could be a bust. And an 8. Now, this is like, if your quarterback gets hurt, then you know you've got someone good backing him up. You know for a fact that your quarterback gets hurt, then you're still going to be able to compete. As long as you're not completely terrible, if you've got this guy, if you got a pretty mediocre team, right? Like, you know, you got like the Cardinals or something, Broncos, whatever, Raiders, and, you know, your quarterback gets hurt, you bring in your backup, you know that you've got a good chance. Teams are still going to take you seriously with these guys as your starting quarterbacks. Maybe, I mean, of course, there's reasons that they're backups. They're not going to be as good as any starters, but still. And I mean, if you get like in the top 3, they might be better than some current NFL starters. I'll point that out if they are. And then we've got the Packers coming in at 8th with Jordan Love, of course, their rookie. And yes, I do think that Jordan Love is going to be better at this moment. This is not predictions. This is at this moment. I think that Jordan Love has better stats and is in a better situation than Justin Herbert. All right, he gets to sit behind Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's. I feel like what they could do is they could. And of course, they went from I forgot his name. Their last good quarterback, and then they went and they got Aaron Rodgers. He sat behind him, and then he came out, and I feel like now they went and they got Jordan Love. I feel like the Packers are good at this thing. They could possibly make him a starter, and that puts him above. I didn't mention any stats because I want to hurry this up. And in 7th, we've got the Colts. Of course, you saw Jacoby Brissett last year playing. He got a team to 7-9, just starting every season. He started all 16 games that I know of, and he won 7 games. That tells you right there that, I mean, they have a great backup quarterback in the league. I mean, they got 2,942 yards, 18 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 50.1 quarterback rating. I mean, this guy is a mediocre starting quarterback, okay? Now, he of course, there's a reason that he is like a backup. A lot of those wins were mainly because of like the great defense, all the interceptions. He does have a great team surrounding him. So I feel like, you know, Philip Rivers gets hurt. Not Philip Rivers. Yeah, Philip Rivers gets hurt. Still got Jacoby Brissett back there, don't fear. Now we've got the Falcons up here. Matt Schaub. This is definitely not something you probably expected to see. 580 yards, 3 touchdowns, was only 1 interception, and a 78.9 quarterback rating last year. That's pretty good from a guy, you know, Matt Schaub, who you've probably never heard of. So, I mean, Matt Ryan gets hurt. Matt Schaub gonna come in winning the games. Okay, I feel like this guy is good. I feel like this guy. I've heard of him for the last couple years. I feel like he's been in the league for a while. So, I mean, I'm just saying. And in 5th, we have, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Nick Mullins. Started a majority of the games in 2018. Simply because, you know, Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt. And, you know, yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. He threw 2,277 yards, 13 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and he did have a 90.8 quarterback rating when he played those games. So, I mean, really, they've seen that he can win games. Of course, they went 3-13, but he looked good. He looked okay. Of course, he's a backup. But I feel like they did a good job, you know, keeping him on the team after that. And I feel like he could win some games. We got the Redskins. They actually have They have Kyle Allen as their backup. They got him from the Panthers, and you saw this guy last year. He looked good. Everyone was thinking that maybe people were seriously considering that Kyle Allen could take over from Cam Newton. Of course, he kind of lost it in the last couple of games. He got sacked for Will Grier, as I said earlier in the video. But he still is good. He still won games against, the Titans last year. Of course, with Marcus Mariota, he beat the Titans. He beat teams like the Cardinals. I'm pretty sure he beat the Texans. He has the skills to win games. And entering the pedestal in third, we have the Dolphins, of course, with Tua Tagovailoa as their backup quarterback currently. I'm pretty sure that's what they have. He had 2,840 yards, 33 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a 206.9 quarterback rating. This guy, really, they have someone. You probably could say that he is better than Ryan Fitzpatrick right now. I don't know. You look at the stats. Ryan Fitzpatrick is surprisingly, he's a pretty good quarterback. Ryan Fitzpatrick, very underrated. Anyways, we're not talking about him. Tua Tagovailoa. There's a reason people were saying last year, tank for Tua. This guy is a beast. He played in college, but the reason he's not first is because he could be a bust. He is a rookie. He doesn't have any NFL experience, and that puts him below. All right, in second. Now, these are guys that they're good. They probably could be starters. We got RG3 in here, of course. He probably, I saw something that says that he hopes to at some point start for a team. I'm pretty sure he beat, I think it was the Raiders last year. He beat a team in the last game last year, him playing every single down. He has what it takes to win games. I'm pretty sure it was the Ravens. Yeah, not Ravens. I'm pretty sure it was the Raiders. I'm pretty sure he beat the Raiders playing every single down. He probably should be starting. It's just the fact that he got hurt that 1 year. He's definitely not as good as if he did play, he wouldn't be as good as he was that 1 year. But he probably should be starting for some team. And the very best. How could you beat RG3 at being a backup? By being Jameis Winston. The guy got the most, I'm pretty sure the most yards, most passing yards last year. He got 33 touchdowns last year. The man of course he threw 30 interceptions, but if he cuts down on the interceptions, this guy could be insane. He won lots of games with the Buccaneers last year. It's just, he gets to sign Drew Brees. I feel like Saints fans, if Drew Brees gets hurt, y'all aren't even going to be sad. Jameis Winston definitely not on the same level, but he could beat a lot of teams. And when you go from the Buccaneers and you hand him Michael Thomas, you hand him that whole team, I feel like Jameis Winston could probably go to the. He's definitely better than tons of starting quarterbacks right now. Sam Darnold. I'm trying to think. Ben Roethlisberger. I can't think of any. Give me some time and I will. Anyways, I feel like this is by far the best. Maybe you could make an argument at RG3's bet. I don't know. I just feel like, he's very entertaining to watch too. That has nothing to do with it, but I just thought I'd point that out. He's funny. You just look at the guy. He has a 53 quarterback rating, whatever. 5,109 yards last year. He got 5,000 yards. He says that he thinks that statistically he's one of the best quarterbacks ever, and that's right. I feel like what's gonna happen is the Saints, they're gonna let him grow behind Drew Brees, right? They're gonna sit there. They're gonna let him learn. They're gonna let him learn how not to throw interceptions. They're gonna let Drew Brees kind of mentor him. So he's already really good, and he gets to sit behind Drew Brees and learn. I feel like what's probably gonna happen is they're gonna keep him around. Drew Brees is gonna retire. He's at the very end of his career now. I know he's still playing good, but whatever. He probably needs to retire before he starts playing badly. He doesn't want to be an Eli Manning. And I feel like they're gonna let Jameis Winston is gonna start for the Saints, and it's gonna be like this Brett Favre. That's the guy's name. It's gonna be like kind of like a Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre thing, right? I feel like the Buccaneers are gonna feel kind of bad. So those are my rankings, right? So go ahead, if you watch the whole thing, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down there. Like the button, like the video if you liked it. Comment, tell me any ideas that you have for future videos, or tweet at me at Carsonian Beans. Just look up Carsonian Beans. I should show up. It's at Phil 2Duck is F1. It's in the description too. Just look down there, not the link. Anyways, thanks for giving me any ideas. I'll probably use them. Thanks for watching this obscenely long video. Goodbye.